Hey there and welcome to the club. Today I'll be showing you how to draw Palkia from Pokemon. We're going to be drawing this character from a side profile facing towards the right, so let's start at the top of our page. We're going to start with a short horizontal line. From left to right, we'll just go across. Now on the left side, we just want to hook up towards the top. From this point, we're going to curve it back along the side of the head. So curving down and over towards the left. From this point, we're going to draw an angled line going in and across. Now we want to connect this point to the outside with a curve that comes down. So we're going to start by going down, and then we're just going to angle it up towards that point. From this point, we want to curve up. Now we're not going to go all the way to the top. We don't want to go past that point. We're going to go straight across to connect. Now we're going to draw two short lines in the inside. One at the top, and then one at the bottom. We're going to continue this line behind this point. So going across. Now we're going to take this point and just curve down the bottom of the eye. Let's draw in the pupil. So up here we're going to draw a little half circle going around. And at the top, in the middle, we're just going to draw a little dot. And we're going to color the outside area in black. On the side of the eye, I just want to show a little bit of depth. So at the bottom here, we're just going to pull a curve going outwards and then across the top with a short line. Now we're going to trim out the eyes. So on the bottom here, we're just going to curve along the outside of the eye. Starting at the bottom, we'll curve up. Now we're going to curve along the top past this point here. So we're going across to right about there. Now we're going to pull this down with a reverse curve down towards the front line. We're going to duplicate this little spike on the back here. So we're going to take this line and just continue it up and then draw an angled line in behind the head. Now that we have the face, we're going to draw the long neck going in towards the shoulder. So we're going to angle the neck going this way towards the shoulder here. So we're going to start at this point and curve down. Curving out towards the left and then down. Let's draw a big circle for the shoulder. So we're going to start at this point and just work our way around towards the bottom and then back up to the top. So just slowly working our way around to the bottom and then just make our way back up to the top. Let's finish off the head with that big fin that goes along the top here. So from this point, we're going to step over towards the right, just draw a short angle line going up. Now we're going to follow the curve of the spine going up, and it's going to sort of taper out. So it's going to get a little bit wider as we get to the top of the head. So from here, we're going to curve up, go a little bit wider to right about there. Now we're going to curve back in behind the head, just curving it down. In this little gap here, we're just going to draw a little curve from left to right, in there. Now in the shoulder, we're going to draw the little centerpiece. So it's basically the smallest circle in the middle. Starting from the top, curve around, and then back up to the top. Now we're just going to trim this out. So we're going to draw a slightly smaller circle on the inside. Let's draw the little details around the shoulder. So we're going to start at the top here. From this curve, we're going to step up and just draw a short straight line across. At the bottom, we'll do the same thing, leaving a gap. Now at the top, we just want to curve this left side up to the outside of the circle. We draw that same curve angle going out. So it's starting to spread out this way. The bottom, we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to curve down and over towards the left, then down and out towards the right. So it's spreading out this way. Now there's two more of these pieces on either side here. So we're going to start by drawing the lines in first. So up in this area, we'll draw an angled line. And at the bottom, we'll draw another angled line. On the right side, we're going to do the same thing. Draw an angled line here, and then along the bottom. Now let's connect these to the outside. So from the top, we're going to curve up and out. Do that same curve going up and out. Now on the bottom, we're going to curve in the opposite direction. Curving across to the outside, and then curving down. On this side here, we're going to curve out this way. Curving out. Just making sure that it gets a little bit wider as we get out to the outer circle. And at the bottom here, we're going to curve down and then curving out. From here, let's draw in the bottom of the neck. So now the neck gets a little bit wider as it gets down towards the body. So just underneath this curve here, we're going to come down and pull it down to right about there. From this point, we're going to curve it back in behind the shoulder, going up and over. Let's draw in that detail along the neck. So we're going to start at the bottom here. So this curve, we're just going to duplicate it just above it, just going across, leaving a gap. Now we're going to curve up along the side of the neck up towards the eye. curving up and over. Now I'm going to take this and curve again to the outside back of the neck. Taking this point, curving to the back. Now we want to give this some thickness. So we're going to step down and just follow that curve on the inside, right about there. And we'll curve it back in behind the shoulder, like that. Let's go back down below the shoulder and draw in the forearm. So we're going to start at the top here. We're going to go across just underneath the shoulder in towards the wrist. So it's going to be an overlapping line. So starting back here, go in towards the shoulder and then across to the wrist. At the end of this line, we're just going to draw a curve that overlaps. So we're going to step up and just curve the wrist line coming down. Let's go back to the top of the arm and draw these little slits along the arm. So at the top here, we're just going to angle out with a short line. Now we're going to curve in towards the wrist with a short line. So coming in, and just kind of let it fade out there. From this point, we want to get to the next slot. So from here, we're going to curve in and out. We're going to take this point and just, again, following that same curve, going in towards the wrist with a short curve. We're going to square off the end. We're going to continue this. So we're going to go straight across this time, right in towards the wrist, to right about there. We're going to draw another scoop. So we're going to go in and back out. Now, because the arm's curved this way, we're going to draw an angle coming down towards the right. Coming down towards the right. We're going to take this point and, again, curving in towards the wrist. We'll take the bottom and curve in towards the wrist. Now here we're going to step over towards the right and just draw an angled line coming down. Now I want to make that point reach the wrist there. So we're going to draw a curve going in, and you can draw an overlap if you like, or just go right into that point. Now going back into the wrist, we're going to take this top line and just draw a straight line across. We'll do the same along the bottom. We're going to connect those 2 points with a curve. Now from here, let's add in the claws. So on the corner here, we're going to draw a curve going across, and we're going to pull this back in the opposite direction, going in. Now we're going to draw in 4 of these fingers. So right here, we're going to do an overlap, going across, and we're going to curve this back in behind the wrist. Let's do another one. So right here, we're going to overlap, going across. We'll pull that back in, and we'll do one more. So right here, we're going to go up in an angle, and we'll curve that back in behind the wrist. In behind the shoulder here, there's a little trim at the back here. So we're going to start on the side of the shoulder and just curve and taper out in behind the forearm. We're going to draw in that little collar in this gap here. So up on the front of the neck, we're going to curve down and in. We're going to go in the opposite direction, so we're going to curve in behind the shoulder, going up. Let's draw in a little bit of detail here. So on the side, at the top, we're going to curve to the bottom, and then on the right, we'll just curve down towards the bottom. Before we go any further, I want to draw that big wing on the back. So we're going to start on the side of the shoulder here and draw a curve that goes out towards the left. Going out towards the left. Now there's some layers in the wing that go across this way. So we're going to start on the end, draw an angled line coming across. Now they're going to taper in, so they get a little bit narrower as we come back in toward the shoulder. So we're going to curve up and in. Let's step in from that point over towards the right and draw that same angle. Coming down. Now we're going to pull this up again in behind the shoulder with a curve. We'll draw one more. So from that point, we'll step over towards the right again, draw a short angled line, and we'll pull that again in behind the shoulder. Up here, there's a little separation. Up here, we're just going to draw an angled line in. We're going to continue working on the front side of the body. So let's go down towards the leg. So right here, there's this big sort of thigh in this area here. So we're going to start in the back of this arm, curving out, and then in. We're going to do the opposite on this side. So we want to create almost like a big oval with an open gap here. So right here, we're going to curve around, and then in. We're going to draw a little wrinkle line here. So right here at the bottom, we curve up so it tapers across like that. Let's go ahead and draw on the foot. So from this point, I'm going to curve the back of the leg, curving out and then down. We're going to take that point and angle in towards the bottom of the foot, coming down. From here, I'm going to draw on the bottom of the foot with a straight line going across to right about there. Now from the corner here, I'm just going to draw a curve for the first claw. I'm going to go up, and I'm just going to pull this down about halfway along this line. I'm going to step up here and draw the second claw. We're going to come down to that point. Maybe I can extend this out just a little bit further. Go up here, going up higher, and then coming down towards that point. From this corner here, I'm just going to curve out and up and towards the back of the knee. Going up like that. In here, I'm just going to draw a curve going up to separate the toes. And at the top of this curve, we're going to do the same thing, just coming up. Now for the inside of the leg, I'm just going to come to the bottom here, stepping over towards the right slightly, curving over towards the right, and then I'm just going to pull that in behind that toe. And then along here, I'm just going to draw a curve for the nail. Up at the knee area here, I'm just going to draw a little line just to indicate the kneecap. In the back here, we're just going to separate a little line detail, just going across like that along the bottom. Now that we have the leg in place, we can go ahead and draw in the body. So from the bottom of this point, we're going to step over towards the right, we're going to curve out the belly, and then pull this back in behind the leg. So from that point, stepping over, curving out towards the right, and then just rounding out the bottom in behind the leg. We're going to continue this curve for the tail going in behind the leg and then up. So right here, we'll imagine this line going behind the leg, starting here, curving out, and then up. We're going to taper the tail, going back in towards the body, gets a little bit thicker. Starting up here, we'll go thicker and curve that in behind the leg. In the middle of the torso, we're just going to draw a straight line going across behind the hand to the side. Now let's add in some of that stripe detail. So on the side of this leg here, we're going to start up here, angling in and down. Now we're going to curve this back in behind the leg, so it's going to taper. It's a little bit thinner, and it goes in behind the leg. In the middle of the body, just down here, we're going to draw a straight line across. Now on the right, we want to curve to the bottom of the belly here. So going down, and just blending in with the bottom of the body. We're going to do the same thing here. We're going to curve down and along the bottom. So going down, and then just tapering it to the bottom of the belly. On this side, we're going to do the reverse of this. Just draw an angle line going up, and then again, we're just going to taper that out as we get towards the bottom of the belly. In these gaps, we're just going to draw a couple of angled lines. So just down here, angling down, and we'll do the opposite on the right side. On the tip of this tail, there's a little strip that goes across this way. So we start from the tip, coming down, curve across with the tail towards the leg. Now we're going to taper that back out, going out to the tip of the tail. In the back of the tail here, we're going to draw another curve around the leg, and then down here we're going to draw another stripe. So at the bottom right here, curve and just taper it in behind the leg. Let's go ahead and draw in the back arm here. So we're going to start with a curve for the shoulder area. So right up here, we're going to curve around and then in behind the body. At the bottom of this curve, we're going to curve forward towards the elbow and just draw a straight line going up towards the wrist line. Let's go ahead and cap off the wrist with an intersecting line that just goes across like that. Let's go ahead and draw in the upper part of the shoulder. So up here, we're just going to follow this curve going down towards the inside of the elbow. So curving in like that. We'll follow this line with a short line coming across. Now we're going to draw in the forearm. So we're going to overlap, going up, and then we'll curve in towards that wrist, curving in. Let's draw in the outer part of the shoulder. So up here, again, we're going to curve out, and we'll pull that in behind the forearm. We're going to add some of these little details on the outside here. So starting in the middle, just a straight line coming down, we're going to angle up, and then we're going to angle down. Let's draw another one up here. So angling a line. Now we're going to curve across to the outside, and at the top, we'll draw one more down here, going across with a straight line, curving down to the outside, and same with the bottom. Now for the bottom part of the arm, we're going to continue this curve. We're going to leave a gap, and right here, you're going to just see a little curve going across. Now we're going to come down the bottom of the arm, curving down towards the elbow. Now we're going to draw a straight line in towards the wrist. We're going to take this outer curve and just continue in between this gap here. Just drawing a little curve inside. Now for the hand, I'm going to start in this corner of the wrist and angle up and out. We're going to do the opposite on the bottom, going out in the opposite direction this way. Now we want to draw 4 little divots inside between the top and the bottom line. So we're going to start by going 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Along this line, we're going to draw in the thumb. So at this point in the wrist, we're going to curve up, and then we'll curve down. We're going to connect these 2 points with one finger. So at the top here, we're going to curve to a tip, and at the bottom, we'll curve in the opposite direction. Now on the second point here, we're going to go up at an angle, and we'll curve down to this point there. We'll continue this. So right here, we're going to go up at an angle, we'll curve down. Then one final one right here, we'll go up at an angle, and then we'll curve it down. Let's tuck in the back side of the forearm here. So along this line, we're just going to go out, come down, we'll go in, and then we'll come down again. Now from this point, we're just going to curve in behind the hand, curving in. The final step is the back leg here. So we're going to start with the hip first. We're going to line up the legs. So right up here, I'm going to curve down. Now I'm going to curve the thigh, going out and around the knee. So from here, we're going to go out, and then just pull it in. Let's go to the back side of the leg. So we want to make sure that the leg is quite thick. So down here, I'm going to curve in. Start aiming towards that knee there. In the back, we're going to step over towards the left, curve towards the heel. Now we're going to curve down. From that heel, we're going to angle a straight line coming down towards the toes. That. Now we're going to draw, similar to what we did here, we're going to draw a straight line across the bottom. We can adjust the length if we need to. Now from that point, I want to curve up and then down. Going up and then down, about halfway along this line. Now from this point, I want to curve up to the back of the leg. Curving up. And then back here, we're just going to draw that same detail, but we're going to make it a little bit different. From here, we're going to angle down, and then we'll angle across. Now again, let's layer the second claw. So right here on the side, go up, and we'll come down to that point. In between the toes here, I'm just going to curve it up. And then the front of the leg, just underneath this knee, we're going to curve down and out towards that toe. On the side here, you might see a little bit of this third claw, so we're going to go out, down, and we'll just draw a straight line across the bottom. At the bottom here, there's a little spike, so in the heel, we'll come down with a straight angled line, and we'll pull that up underneath the foot. And that's pretty much it. There we have it. There's Palkia from Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Make sure you subscribe, and check out our Pokemon playlist. We're adding new characters every Tuesday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.